Hey, what's up guys, and yes, the final episode of What If Naruto was from all the clans and taken by Obito. Welcome back to Anime King 3 guys, and yeah, today I'm gonna begin the final episode guys. I just wanna say thank you for all the views, the comments and the likes so far. It's been truly amazing. And also guys, remember not to get sad because new what ifs are coming up soon for you guys to enjoy. So just sit back, relax, and yeah, enjoy. And also go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Found the Shinigami Weapons over an Anime King. Yes, that's right guys, if you're new to the channel and new to my voice overall, I indeed have 3 channels, Anime King, Anime King 2, Anime King 3. Which I post what if fun every day for you guys to enjoy. Yes, you heard that right, every single day. And I just want to say thank you all. So without further ado, with this we begin this final episode. Let's get right into it guys. So the last spot we left off. Some time has passed since Naruto had left. Sasuke was at his house as he was rather furious. He was pissed off to no end. And not to mention he was being watched. But by who he did not know, but he could feel the eyes on him. Everywhere he went like he was a suspect in his own goddamn home. That is when Naruto popped up in his apartment, shocking him. As he calmed down but he was still angry. As Naruto told him that he was being watched the entire time, and he had to handle the situation, but Naruto was in Konoha for a week now. Yes, he has been here for a literal week. He has been doing things. So with that, he told Sasuke to meet him at the East Gate. There will be no one there just to follow him. With that he left. Sasuke ran into Sakura there. As Sasuke was confused what she was doing out here, she seemed to be in some sort of daze. As Naruto appeared behind her, he made Sasuke saw himself with Sakura on their missions, how much she cared for him. As Sasuke told Naruto to stop it, as Naruto snapped her neck, Sasuke was shocked. His anger got the better of him as he rushed towards Naruto with pure rage in his eyes. But Naruto calmly looked into his eyes. Sasuke was confused as he felt himself getting strangely detached from everything. The next moment he returned back to normal. As Sakura was gone, Sasuke seemed to have no memory of what just happened. Last thing he could tell was that he walked out here and saw Naruto right here, waiting on him. As Naruto Mangita Sharingan is activated, using one of his special abilities on him. Sasuke was still not ready, he said, so with that, Naruto returned Sakura back to her house. He made it look like she couldn't take it anymore. The funeral happened a few days afterwards as Kiba was pissed off that Sasuke had not even come. Ino had fell into more of a depression. As Sakura had given up, her parents was. It was hard for most of them, since that battle in the Forest of Death. When he got to Sasuke's apartment, Sasuke was not there, confusing him. It was then that Danzo was alerted that Sasuke was gone. Danzo was confused. His root ninjas then found the bodies of the other root ninjas. Sasuke couldn't have been capable of killing his root ninjas, so who? Who took him? He had his root ninjas scour the area to try to find Sasuke. While that was going on, as Naruto and Lulu had made their way towards Kumo. Making their way there, they were stopped, as Naruto informed him of who he was. It took a while as Raikage arrived. Naruto was brought to a secluded room, where his chakra was sealed off, as Naruto told him that he wanted Konoha to pay for all they put him through as a child. And he wanted to live here because the Sand treated the Jinchurikis like they were, well, problems as well. He just wanted a place where he didn't have to worry about being outcasts, where the Jinchurikis are loved by the people, where the people don't hate them and saw them from monsters. The Raikage was seeing that Naruto was caring about that girl that he came with, Lulu. So if Naruto was to do anything, she could be a deterrent. as Naruto made it look that way. He also had a present for the Raikage. The Raikage was shocked to what Naruto pulled out. While that was going on, another Naruto had made his way and found Tsunade at the Sanin. Tsunade had been off the grid, as she didn't want to go back to Konoha. She had heard about the death of Sarutobi and she wasn't going to go back no matter what. It was then that she felt it as Naruto arrived. He introduced himself as she was shocked by that. The first to die was Tauntaun, as Shizune was angry about that. Naruto put her in her place, her and Tsunade as well, as he took a full brawn hit from Tsunade, who still held back a bit when she heard that he was the son of Minato and Kushina. But that was her mistake. He wanted to see how far he could push her. He then went on to defeat both her and Shizune. Neither of them stood a chance against him. To make things worse, when he brought out Sano, she was able to crack it but not completely destroy it, as Naruto burned her and Shizune down to dust. So yeah guys, it's basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the please check it out for yourself. And also guys, remember to go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If Naruto Found the Shinigami Weapons and enjoy that guys. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Let's get right into it guys. It has been 1 year and 5 months since Naruto had presented the Raikage with a special gift. That gift was nothing normal. It was something the Raikage always wanted. While he wanted to be attached, but still, they were well preserved. It was none other than the eyes of a Hyuga. The Raikage was shocked when he saw them. It was a sign that Naruto showed that he pledged his loyalty to Kumo, as he assured the Raikage that he didn't want to stay at the San. He wanted to stay here. The Raikage had a representative from the San, which was Temari. As she had made her way, Naruto being her escort, as she had brought the forms and letters over. It took some while before the Raikage himself decided to take a trip to the San to see their economical state. Naruto has been giving him information on this San village, information that they would rather like keep to themselves, as Naruto was a perfect little spy. The Raikage saw him as a great asset. Konoha had no idea what they lost. So with that, they had been working together for the past year and a half. Naruto has also met Yujito and Killer Bee. Yujito was a feisty one. She enjoyed to fight. Killer Bee saw Naruto as someone who went through a lot and tried to put a bit of a music into his heart. His rapping was horrible though. Thus Naruto has been working for them the entire time, while pretending to be at the San as well, as things has been going along greatly. Both groups trust him rather well. More in the San that is, as we found herself at the hidden San, as Temari stared as she slowly opened her eyes. She glanced around the room. As she looked up, there he was sleeping, rather calmly. A smile came to her face. This happened a few months back. She had promised him that she would forgive him if he pledged his loyalty to the San and he prevented them from getting destroyed by the other nations by allowing them to create an alliance with Kumo. He did the impossible. The Council of the San learned to respect him even more, and not to mention with the power that he held, he was like a deterrent. Konoha has been rather quiet. There were some skirmishes with Taki and Konoha, but nothing could be directly proven. But the thing was, the 7th Jinchuriki was missing. Her name was Fu and she was just gone. Everyone suspected that Konoha was behind it, but Taki could not prove it, and Konoha assured them that they were not the ones that took the Jinchuriki. Jiraiya, who has been hearing about the organization known as the Akatsuki, believed that was the case. Danzo has been keeping Jiraiya busy to use his spy network to the fullest of his abilities, but Jiraiya, on the down low, has been searching for Tsunade, unaware that she and Shizune was gone from this planet. They were dead. At the moment though, Temari was happy. She had hated for what he did to her in the preliminaries, but he has been nothing but charming and sweet ever since, helping Gaara. And Gaara had turned into a much better person because of it. He no longer carried that aura of death around with him. And him and Gaara were actual friends. The both of them had been drinking a few months back when everything was finalized with Kumo and the San, and they'd end up taking them to bed. The next morning was a shock for the both of them. She more so because that was her first time. But things that went on rather wonderfully after that. She had asked him about Lulu. It was then that he told her that she was just a friend, as she had helped him through, when he thought that there was nothing to live for. That broke her heart when she heard that he almost took his life 4 times at Konoha. Gar had a rough life growing up, but he never tried to kill himself before. So she tried her best to make things comfortable for him here. Although the people see him as a hero here after all, he's more than proven himself to the people of the council, and not to mention he's helped Gaara, and he was fighting for the Sen. They decided to keep his name out of things because Konoha, if they were ever to find out, they would directly attack the Sen. But Konoha has been quiet for the past few months because they were plotting. They were plotting the downfall of the Sen. Danzo would not forgive what they had did, as he was plotting his forces already to bring the Sen down. A few root ninjas had been spotted, but they had left instantaneously. Last time they had showed their face, they had died. But Tamar just hoped that they could make it through this. But with the backing of Kumo, she really believed that they could, and especially with Naruto on their side. He was immensely powerful. Tamar reached up, as she used her hand to push his hair back, as his eyelids were shut. The crazy thing about it was, she has not seen his eyes. Some ninjas had fashion sense, some of them were masses, like Kakashi Hatake. That was just a fashion sense, but she has never seen his eyes once. But she could tell when he was looking at her. His gaze was intense, so much so that she could tell when he was looking at her, even though she couldn't see his eyes. She reached up as she slowly started to open his eyelid, as she wanted to see what color his eyes were. She had never saw them before. As she was about to open it up, she saw a strange purple light, but his hand came up and held her wrist. "What are you doing?" he said. "You're weak," she said. "Well, considering that you're trying to pry my eyes open, how could I not?" "Well, I've never really saw your eyes before. I'm just curious, what color are they?" He slowly opened his eyes to show her the most beautiful, deep blue eyes she has ever seen before, as they seemed to just sparkle. "Wow, your eyes are so beautiful. Why do you hide them?" she asks. "My hair has been like that since I was younger. I guess I just got used to the trait. And it's good when fighting opponents for them not to see your eyes. They do not know where you're looking at or where you're gonna strike. Well, I think you should show them more often. They're rather amazing," she said. "Why, thank you," said Naruto. "Although I am looking at a more beautiful sight." She blushed at that. "Hey, there was this strange purple light. What was that a moment ago?" she asked. "Purple light," he said, confused. "Maybe I was just saying things," she said, as she placed her head on his chest. "Hey, I know we've only been doing this for a couple of months, but do you ever think about the future?" she asked. "The future? What of it?" he said. I mean, where's this whole thing going? Right now you're one of the biggest assets to the Hidden Sand, and you being the connected bridge between us and Kumo. Have you thought about the future, when we're all past all of this chaos and war?" "You mean kids?" said Naruto. She glanced up. "You're already thinking about kids?" "Well, I never really had a family of my own. So, yes, I would want to be a father. To make sure I'm there for my kids. To never abandon them, to make them know that they're safe with me. To show them, to give them what I never had growing up. It would be quite amazing." Tamar chuckled a bit. "Hey, what's so funny?" said Naruto. "When I first met you, I never thought anything would turn out like this," she said. "It's just a breath of fresh air, to get to know the real you." As she cuddled up on his chest. "But you're right," she said. "Kids with someone you love does sound amazing. A big happy family. That's good," she said. "I wouldn't mind having kids with you," she said, a bit of stutter in her tone. "And we can be a big happy family," said Naruto. Tamar blushed at that, as she buried her face in his chest, as she couldn't believe how fast they were going. But over the past few months, her feelings for him had intensified, as she couldn't stop them. "Naruto," she said. She glanced up towards him. "I love you." He paused for a few moments. She didn't expect him to say them back. "It's no rush if I love you too," he said. She was surprised by that, as Temari had a smile on her face, a smile that stretched from end to end, as she leaned and kissed him as he kissed her back. She was happy. It's been a long time since she felt this happy, but now she was happy, incredibly so. She just hoped that everything stayed like this forever. Time skip. As Naruto stood on a hill, he was a distance away from the hidden sand. As he just looked down towards the chasm below him, paper started to gather beside him until it formed into Lulu. She said nothing. She always found him doing these morbid things. Sometimes she wondered if he had any regard for his life. The way he just looked at everything around him, sometimes it seems like he just wanted to end it all. Sometimes she just couldn't understand him. Lulu narrowed her gaze. Time is up, she said. Have you gathered all of their locations, she asked. Yes, said Naruto. We've become rather friendly with one another. I know where they're each located. As Lulu glanced over the ravine, you will be betraying her by taking her brother away from her. I saw that you two have been getting rather close. Are you sure that you're up to the task? You're wondering if I will let my heart get into the way. If I'll let feelings get in front of the Akatsuki goals, said Naruto. She narrowed her gaze. I warned you not to get in so deep. But you did. If anything happened, it will be on you. As Naruto merely smiled, he slowly got to his feet. Had Zetsu found the other tail pieces? The Sanbai should be recovering soon. The Sanbai was killed not too long ago by the Alliance Shinobi forces. Obito had the men under control. And yet somehow, the Alliance Shinobi forces were taken down. As Obito did not account for that. That is why the Akatsuki plans had to be delayed for some time. Until the thing reformed. But the time has been up. It should be reforming in time soon now. His gaze focused towards Lulu as she was still talking. You have the 2 and the 8 and the 1 tail accounted for. The 4 tail and the 5 tails are in the outcoast rocky land of the Hidden Stone. The 6 tail is in hiding in one of the lands around Kiri. The 7 tails is currently unaccounted for. Zetsu has been trying to find information regarding what is going on in Konoha, but it's been rather difficult to enter with Danzo's new regime. The village has basically turned into a lockdown, military place. No longer warm, welcoming Konoha like it used to be. Is that so? Said Naruto. Will you be able to do it? Said Lulu. Betray her like that after what you and her have been through? It seems like Konan has been rubbing off too much on you, said Naruto. What do you mean by that? She said. You're questioning my motives. Have I not already done enough? Said Naruto. Have I not proven myself worthy enough to show you that I would not stand against you or this organization? Yet you keep on thinking of me as the enemy. What will it take? Said Naruto as he got to his feet. She said nothing to him. He merely smiled. Don't worry, he said. Soon enough you will realize that I have always been on your side. There has never been any question about that. Have you been told how long it will take for the Sanbai to recover? Naruto asked. No. I was just told to make sure you know that it will begin soon. It's your job to keep the others in check. You were the one that took this mission on yourself. So if anything were to happen, it will be on your head. Do you understand? She said. Are you my boss now? Naruto asked. Do you understand? She said once again, not answering his questions. He merely laughed. Yeah, I understand, he said. Her body then started to break up in paper. So it's like that. Just giving me orders and then leaving. I feel like I'm being used. But she said nothing as she simply vanished away. As Naruto simply smiled, the smile on his face vanished. Before he sat back down and closed his eyes. As he lay back and looked up, but his eyes were still closed. He seemed to just drift off right there and then, uncaring of anything going on around him. As that Naruto lay there, A far distance away, another Naruto could be seen. The other Naruto was standing in the midst of carnage. Pure gore and carnage. All around him lie bodies upon bodies. As he had a smile on his face, he calmly walked as he made his way. Arriving towards his real destination, the bodies were of sound ninjas who tried to block his path. The Sound Four, including Kimimaro, their bodies had been ripped apart, like they were nothing. As he kept on walking already, moving through the building. Walking some more, he finally arrived to what he wanted. Arriving toward the room, he kicked open the door. Inside was Kabuto. Kabuto was holding on to his stomach. "You bastard," he said. Kabuto had grown to trust Naruto, as he had fell for his words about him taking over for Orochimaru, being a leader. Then he just snapped, and he started to kill them all. Kabuto was not done with his preparations to become even more powerful than Orochimaru. He started to infuse his body already, but it was still not enough. The Sound Four, none of them stood a chance. He butchered them all in the most gruesomest way possible. This person, no, you couldn't even call him that anymore. This thing was a monster. "Why are you doing this?" Kabuto asked, still clutching onto his stomach. As Naruto sighed, "I just wanted you dead. Did you ever thought about that? Why? You were the one that gave me all the ideas. You were the one that brought me all those unique bloodlines. For what? For my experiments." As Naruto walked over, "But you did what I wanted. You were able to mimic those bloodlines by using the blood that I brought you. You were able to finalize what I wanted." Kabuto snarled, "Dedo Tensei, that is why you wanted it. You wanted me to perfect it." "Well, not 100%. I know what to do now," said Naruto. "I just need your insight to see how far you could push the ability. If you could make it absolutely perfect. As I said, Kabuto, if you push yourself far enough, you'd have been greater than Orochimaru. But I'm afraid that I don't want you to be greater than him. I just wanted your knowledge on the Edo Tensei. Other than that, I really don't care less what happens to you. Oh yeah, seeing that you're gonna die and all, I was the one that killed Orochimaru." What? As Naruto raised up and lifted his hair, showing his eyes, Kabuto was shocked when he saw a pair of Mangekyo, and the world turned black. As Naruto appeared to his side, Kabuto tried to punch Naruto with his hand, phased right through him. It's an illusion. Kabuto tried to break it, but he could not. "I'm afraid that my Mangekyo is a lot stronger." "What? How are you doing this? There should be no technique that is unbreakable." Kabuto flared his chakra once again. "Be quiet," said Naruto. As Kabuto's mouth was covered by tape, and he couldn't tear it off no matter what, or how hard he tried. "Seeing that you're gonna die, to pass the time a bit, you once asked me where those knives of mine came from. With my eyes, I'm able to create them, instantaneously. I can only create 10 at a time though. Once one of them is gone, I can recreate it instantly. But I can't create more than 10. These knives are rather unique. They can completely corrupt one chakra system. They can absorb chakra, also your technique. And they would be imbued into the knife. And I can also pull it back into my body and take that chakra that I stored away in it. A quite powerful ability. But there's another one. I'm able to completely take away your free will, borderline crush your sense of reality. I made the Sound Four believe that Orochimaru had been killed by Konoha ninjas, but in fact, I had killed him right in front of them. But their mind was deceit. There is no lasting memory. I erased that part of their mind. I was able to completely override their will. Call it a sense of hypnosis, but on a completely different scale. I can let you believe what I want. That's impossible, Kabuto thought to himself. No jutsu should be that powerful. How in the hell is that even possible? There is a drawback though. Normally, It would have taken a long while for me to do this jutsu rapidly, but because of the Senju DNA running through my veins, the drawback is cut short. And also, if you're able to attach yourself to reality, to remind yourself of what is going on, you could break through my technique. But other than that, no one would be aware of my technique. It was just like what I did to you. I slowly put the thought in your mind of you becoming more powerful than Orochimaru. I'm sure that you had dreams about that, where you were on top of the world, watching as everything went by, where you surpassed anyone that thought that they were once the strongest in the world, where you became number one, surpassing the likes of even the Sage of Sixth Path, where you yourself became a god, something that Orochimaru was never able to do. As Kabuto's eyes were beaming with rage, all of this was because of him. Kabuto was beyond pissed off, but he could do nothing about it. The world then returned back to normal. As Naruto looked at him, I thank you for your contribution towards my goal. What is your goal? Kabuto asks. As Naruto walked towards him and leaned down and whispered in his ear, Kabuto's eyes went wide, too weak to even move because of the blood loss, as he had more cuts over his body, and the wound through his stomach. It was only because he was an expert medical tease. That is why he was not already dead. It was gaping and large, but even his body could not keep up, and Naruto had destroyed his bottle of pills that would help him heal rapidly. Naruto brought his foot down and crushed Kabuto's head. 3 brutal stomps and the man light was gone. Once he was finished, he sat down and crossed his legs, as he closed his eyes and just started to meditate. Meanwhile that was going on, Konoha, Danzo to be exact, had never told a single soul that the Uchiha, Sasuke, was gone from the village. It wouldn't do good for his reputation, so he kept it. He kept the information on lock and key. No one knew. Things haven't been so well in Konoha. Ino had completely given up on the ninja path. She worked at the store full time now. After what happened to Sakura, she had just given up. And Sasuke was just gone. Some say that he was off on a long-term training trip, as no one got the real answer where the hell he was. Other than that, the others have been trying to train to get better, as Lee and Kiba. Some of them still had anger towards Naruto, as they remember that he was the one that caused all of this, that made Sakura do that to herself, and put Ino in that state. It was still a saddening news to speak about what happened to Sakura. Her parents had never truly recovered from that. Seeing their daughter like that, it was truly horrible. But Danzo had kept the information under tight lock and key what happened to Sasuke. He couldn't have anyone find out. That is why Itachi Uchiha was rather surprised when he was called by Naruto himself, saying that he had something for him, that they need to talk. Itachi hadn't seen Naruto in a few months. He had been keeping an eye on him, hearing that he was all over the Elemental Nation. Konoha has not yet tracked him down. Maybe that was for a good thing. But at the moment though, Itachi calmly made his way, as he wondered how the hell did Naruto know about this place. It belonged to the Uchihas. They were in the coastal area past Hainokuni. No one would know that they were here unless techniques start to destroy everything around, causing more of a destructive nature. As Itachi walked in, calm as ever, as he wanted answers. How did Naruto know about this place? And what did he want? Ah, you made it, said Naruto, as he was currently sitting down on top, looking down towards Itachi before he entered. Itachi glanced up towards him. How do you know about this place? He said. And why have you called me? He asked. Well, you took your sweet time getting here, said Naruto. I was busy, he said. Well, I know that you're a busy man, so let me skip the nonsense. Sasuke has not been in Konoha for the longest time now. Itachi gazed narrowed at that. What? I wanted, like I said, to see you fight, to see what you're truly capable of. So I needed for Sasuke to get stronger rather quickly. So I took him. Itachi gazed narrowed slightly. Naruto has always been an enigma to him. For the life of Itachi, he just couldn't find out what Naruto wanted exactly. He didn't know if he wanted revenge. He didn't know if he wanted retribution. He didn't know if he wanted. Everyone could know how to suffer, he just didn't know. As Naruto merely smiled. Where is he? Itachi asked. He's waiting for you in there. You brought my brother to me to fight him, so that you can watch. Well, I did tell you that. I've been looking forward to seeing you fight at your fullest. And if you don't this time, Sasuke will kill you. Itachi shook his head. Do you really believe he possesses strength to take me down? Well then, why don't you go on in? Itachi calmly stepped in, watching Naruto with the corner of his eye, who simply smiled and jumped down. When Itachi stepped inside, Sasuke was sitting on the throne on the inside. So you finally come, Sasuke asked. He had a sword strapped to his side. He was wearing a blue shirt, dark blue, black pants, with open-toed sandals. He had bandages around his arms, and wrist guards as well, that seemed to be covering something. His hair was tied up, spiking out behind him. Ah, little brother. It seems you have grown. Sasuke got off his throne. I've been waiting for this day for the longest time. It seems you and I are not the only Uchiha out there. Naruto is a Uchiha just like us. And you were the one that trained him when he was younger. He told me all about that. He told me a lot. Since the day he told me that he knew you, I knew that this day would come, when I would finally get my revenge. As Itachi looked amused, do you really think that you have gathered enough hate to face me as you are? Sasuke's eyes switched to the three-totem Sharingan. We'll just have to see about that, he said. As Itachi merely smiled. Today will be your downfall. You have mistaken to challenge me, especially when you are not ready. And you will fall, little brother. You're gonna be the one falling today, said Sasuke as he pulled his blade. As both brothers started to fight, they first used Genjutsu. Itachi performed his Mangekyo Sharingan Tsukiyomi. To his absolute shock, Sasuke shattered it. Itachi grabbed his eye in surprise, as he couldn't believe what he was seeing. Your little tricks will work on me again. As I said, brother, today will be the day that you fall at my feet, Sasuke said. Well then, if you think you can make it happen, why don't you give it a try? Itachi stood as calm as usual, as Naruto sat there watching the whole thing go on, until he suddenly paused. But it was not just him though. Different Narutos all over the place come to a pause, as all of them stopped doing what they were doing. All of them moved away to a secluded area as they sat down, their eyes closed. As they went into a state of stasis, their body just seemed to shut down at that very moment, unmoving. It was almost like they were dead. But there was another Naruto, who currently found the man that he was looking for, Jiraiya of the Sannin. As he had yet to find Tsunade, Konoha was in a bad shape. The members of the council did not like it. Danzo was changing the village too much. None of them had what it takes to overpower him as Hokage, but Tsunade with her lineage, she had it. Jiraiya could not fight Danzo at the same time while running a spine to work. Not to mention with things so hectic right now. As the way things are, the world was destined to go into another war very soon. He wanted Tsunade here, but as hard as he tried, he just couldn't find her. But he got a tip. Blonde-haired, large-chested woman was seen up in the land of hills, as he wondered what the hell was she doing here. With a diamond on her forehead, that was definitely Tsunade. As Jiraiya calmly made his way, arriving towards his destination, he's also been keeping an eye out for Naruto, but so far there has been nothing. With the way things are right now, entering another village, with Danzo being their leader, could be seen as an act of war. Especially that Konoha doesn't have his Jinchuriki. While those bastards at Konoha hated Naruto, now they realize that they need the power that he possesses. Without it, other villains saw them as weak. Jiraiya arrived as he saw someone sitting down in a chair waiting for him. The person got up when they saw him. As Jiraiya couldn't believe it, he stepped forward. Naruto, he said. He hadn't seen Naruto since the death of the third Hokage, where he had just vanished. Is that you? He asked. Took you long enough, said Naruto. As he sat back down, he gave the man a bow with a greeting. What are you doing here? You did get my message, right? About Tsunade roaming around. Wait, you sent that? Said Jiraiya. Yes, said Naruto. And many more. You did hear that she was all over the place while you hunt and tried to find her. It did keep you distracted. What? How and why would you do that? Said Jiraiya. It's rather easy. Just to get into your spy network. Send and plant a few information there and there. And why? Well, were you ever gonna tell me that I was the son of Minato? Were you ever gonna tell me that you were supposed to be my godfather? Jiraiya paused. Look, kid. I'm gonna explain everything to you, but for now, I need you to come with me. As much as I hate to say this, I can't allow you to go back to Konoha right now. You can't? If Danzo were ever to find you, you will be turned into a weapon. As much as I'm loyal to the Hidden Leaf, for all the times I've wronged you, let me make it up to you this time. Let me keep you safe. You want to protect me, Naruto asked. Yeah, said Jiraiya. Come with me. I'll keep you somewhere safe from all of this. Because sooner or later, war is gonna start. And you're gonna be one of the driving factors for this war. Because of what you contain. So I need you to come with me. Sorry, I can't do that. Naruto, I know you're angry about this. It's no time for jokes. Jokes? Do you see me laughing? Said Naruto. As he shook his head. It seems you don't understand. I planned all of this. I did this knowing that you would come here. It was just like for Tsunade. She was on the run, but she needed cash. So, a tournament happening in Lexi Town was a rather easy way for her to pass through that forest. What are you talking about? Said Jiraiya. And when I burned her alive, it felt so amazing. Jiraiya paused. What did you just say? You heard me. I burned Tsunade alive. Her and her friend Shizune and their little pig. It was rather amazing to just watch her die. Jiraiya couldn't believe what he was hearing. You're joking, right? Do I look like I'm joking? Said Naruto. You don't know me. You don't know what I'm capable of. Yet you believe that I'm someone to joke. As Naruto started to laugh. Well, your time has now come to finish my wrath upon the Sanins. I've killed Orochimaru and Tsunade and now you're the last one. Jiraiya clenched his fists. You're lying, he said. Even if you've gotten strong, there's no way. As Naruto lifted his head up, showing his eyes, shocking Jiraiya. Those eyes. How did, as I said, you know nothing about me. But you're a lot stronger than Tsunade. That is why. As he closed his eyes, it took him a few seconds to open them. Jiraiya was unaware of what just happened. But Naruto got to his feet. Much better, he said, cracking his neck. Let's get back to this, shall we? There's a fight going on and I want to see the end of it. Tell me you're joking about Tsunade. Tell me that you didn't kill her, Naruto. Because if you did, said Jiraiya as he clenched his fists. What? What are you gonna do? Stop me? Lock me up? Kill me? As I said before, you have no idea who or what I am. I saw my parents. They had sealed some of their chakra into the seal inside the Kyuubi, and I spoke to them. When they heard what my plans are, they were shocked, speechless. They were disappointed in me. They knew that I had a hard life, but From the things I've done, my father was able to see through the seals. The things I've done up to this point, he was surely disappointed, but they were nothing but chakra in print. If they were the real ones, I would have crushed your head under my boots. How can you say that about your parents? They are nothing to me. Just some people that made my life live in hell. And you are one of them as well. You were supposed to be there, but yet, you left me to suffer in that hellhole. And for that, as Naruto appeared in front of him, Jiraiya was startled by the speed. But he was not astonished for nothing as he brought his arm up. When Naruto's foot made contact, the stinging sensation, his entire arm spasmed as he was thrown. Jiraiya smashed into the stone behind him. He moved at the same time because Naruto's feet came down and crushed where his head once was. As Naruto started to chuckle, I've heard that you're a sage. Why don't you go ahead and access that sage mode? Naruto, stop this! You've already gone too far. Don't let me do this. I've killed Tsunade. Do you really have an excuse not to fight me? Said Naruto. Alright, let me show you. As he locked eyes with Jiraiya, Jiraiya cursed, but Naruto did not. Tried to hypnotize him with the Sharingan, instead he showed him. Jiraiya watched. It was like he was seeing it through his own eyes. As Naruto mercilessly butchered Tsunade and Shizune without a shred of mercy. Haven't you found it strange why they have not been seen? Not even a glimpse over the past couple of years. Because they're dead, you fool. Jiraiya shot forward, a Rasengan in his hand. He was intent on stopping Naruto for what he did, and he was also angry at losing Heim. Now that's what I'm talking about. To his surprise, Naruto formed Rasengan as well, and he thrust the technique into his own. The two techniques collided and exploded as Jiraiya was thrown back. Surprised by the power that was inside of Naruto Rasengan, but it didn't feel normal. Jiraiya flipped back onto his feet. The moment he landed, Naruto's elbow cracked his nose. The man staggered back, his head going into a frenzy. Two fists lodged in his stomach as he coughed up blood. As a boot slammed in his chin, snapping his head up to the sky. Naruto flashed above him and drive a haymaker into his skull. Jiraiya's body hit the ground, a boom. As Naruto jumped away, is that all the famous Toad Sonin has? I must say I'm disappointed. Jiraiya got up and wiped some of his blood, summoning Jutsu. As a massive toad with a shield appeared. Gamaken, I need you to buy me some time. For what? I'm gonna summon Ma and Pa. Really? For who? Gamaken looked forward. This mere child? He's a lot tougher than he looks. And this bastard killed Tsunade. He did? I will buy as much time as possible, remember. I am rather clumsy. Gamaken lashed out his weapon as he tried to crush Naruto. Naruto flipped back and dodged. As he evaded all of Jiraiya's strike, he did not attack once. He waited until Jiraiya summoned Ma and Pa. As by that time Gamaken was exhausted. As he apologized for not being more help, Jiraiya sent him away. Jiraiya boy, what is going on? This is Naruto. The one you've been looking for this entire time. So he is alive, said Pa. Not only that, he's killed Tsunade. And he brought me here to kill me as well. What? This mere child took down Tsunade. How is that possible? Ma, look at his eyes. Aren't those the second form of a Sharingan? It seems that way, but how does this child have them? I don't know. But I intend to find out, said Jiraiya. As both of them pumped nature engine through him, Jiraiya started to change, taking on toad-like features. Are you done? Said Naruto. I don't know what has happened to you, or why you're doing all of this. But surely, yes, your parents would have been disappointed to see what you have become. And I have no choice but to stop you, in any way possible. Jiraiya appeared. It was a mistake, letting me do this. There is no hope of you winning now. As he dropped the haymaker towards Naruto's skull. To his surprise, Naruto caught it. The ground exploded under his feet. Paw shot out his tongue, but Naruto twists and jump, holding on Jiraiya's fist same way and flip both Paw and Maw. As they were attached to Jiraiya's shoulder though, before he brought all three of them down. Jiraiya lashed out with a brutal kick as it made contact with Naruto's chest. A snapping sound could be heard as the blonde was thrown back. He whipped through the air as he crash landed. Jiraiya appeared above him, Rasengan as he grinded it down, but Naruto vanished. The Rasengan pulverized in the ground. As Naruto reappeared, I see you're a lot faster and stronger in this state. You haven't seen nothing yet, said Jiraiya as he broke the ground, while leaping forward. Both him and Naruto met in mid-air as they clashed. Their hits created a little sonic boom. Jiraiya was shocked, so were the toads that Naruto was actually keeping up with him. As Jiraiya delivered a massive kick to his stomach, Naruto dropped from the heavens like a bomb. He spread out all over the ground. Jiraiya then dropped with a knee. As Naruto rolled, the ground exploded outwards as Naruto flipped. Jiraiya appeared in front of him and backhanded him to the side as Naruto flipped away and landed. A small drop of blood leaking from his mouth. As he wiped it off. Interesting, he said. As Jiraiya flashed in front of him and thrust his fist forward, it made contact with Naruto's black Sano. The ribcage formed around him. What's this, said Jiraiya, as a fist crushed him into the earth. It happened so fast that he could barely keep up, but he allowed his foot to make contact with the earth before he had been pushed down. His hands pushing up the giant face of the Sano. As he started to apply more pressure, the toads on his shoulder released. Fire and wind mixed together, creating an inferno, forcing Naruto to release him as he jumped back. Jiraiya narrowed his gaze at the strange contraption around him. What the hell is that, he said. Oh, that's one of my special abilities, said Naruto. Why don't you come and have a try? Let's see if you can break through this. Tsunade was able to crack it. Let's see how far you can go. Jiraiya wasted no time as he leaped. Super massive Rasengan. The thing was massive. He smashed it into Sano as Naruto and Sano smashed into the earth, obliterating everything. When the smoke and dust cleared, Naruto was lying there. His Susanoo had faded as Jiraiya landed. I warned you, he said, as he walked forward until Naruto started to chuckle. Nature energy. Such a powerful thing, isn't it, said Naruto. As he slowly picked himself up, it was then that Jiraiya gasped. What are those, said Ma, as she watched a strange tentacle came from the boy's back. They implanted in the ground. To her and Jiraiya's shock, they watched as all the life form around them, the trees over to the side, started to die. They were withering away. It's a lot more fun when you forcefully take it. Everything in a long mile around them had died instantaneously. As Naruto's eyes started to glow, a strange ink pigment appeared on his eyes, black and gold. Both Ma and Pa felt it. This child. Jiraiya boy, you need to kill him immediately, said Pa. Jiraiya glanced towards him. What? This child. What he's doing? He's literally forcefully robbing the earth itself of nature energy. This child cannot be allowed to live. As Naruto started to laugh, the smile on his face was bright. He flashed through hand sign wood style. Hearing that, Jiraiya's eyes went wide. Nativity of the sea of trees. The ground and everything erupted as massive vines. Jiraiya tried to leap away, but one of them hooked his feet. He formed a Rasengan, but the attack was siphoned by one of the branches. As Naruto appeared in front of him and smashed his knee in his face, blood burst forward as Naruto drive his both hands into his skull. Jiraiya hit the ground with a bang as all the vines converged on Jiraiya. Jiraiya boy, Boto said as Ma went through a hand sign, only for her to gurgle. Pa's eyes went wide when he saw a blade sticking through her throat. Before he could do anything, a blade pierced through his skull, another one through his chest. As he fell off Jiraiya, losing the balance of nature energy. Ma was then kicked away by Naruto. Jiraiya's eyes went wide as one of the vines covered his mouth. Naruto stomped in his chest, shattering a few of his ribs. as he coughed out blood. Just because you're a Sannin, that doesn't mean. You should have underestimated me, said Naruto. You should have aimed for the kill from the beginning. Otherwise, you wouldn't have been here now. But I came here to kill you, so no long talking, shall we? I know the best way. He formed a Rasengan. As he slowly reached down, Jiraiya's eyes widened as he struck against the vines. But no matter what he did, he could not move, and he felt himself getting weaker and weaker. As Naruto slowly placed the Rasengan into his chest and started grind. And grind and grind and grind and grind. As Jiraiya was left into a bloody mess. A gaping hole, his heart destroyed. As Naruto slowly picked himself up, the vines yanked the body underneath ground. Now all of the Sannins are good and dead, he said. Now it's time to move on to the other task. At Kumo, Yujito, as she was currently standing with Samui and Amoy. They were supposed to go on a mission. Yujito then paused, confused in the other two. It's time, she said. They were confused by that until her skin turned white. Her hair fell out as she turned into a statue before she collapsed and turned into liquid. The group was petrified in shock, but they were not the only one. As Killer B collapsed in the office, B, the right guy, rushed toward his brother's side, but his brother was a pile of goo. The man was furious. What the hell was going on? Back at the sand, Temari saw Naruto acting strange. He was just acting out of it. She walked over towards him. Are you alright? She asked. He looked at her. Without saying anything, he walked up and hugged her. She was confused. Not that this was bad or anything, but something felt wrong. He then whispered, maybe. I'm already dead on the inside. She was confused by that. She was about to say something until she felt pain. As he held on to her tight, Kankuro and Gaara came around the corner. As Kankuro was about to make a comment that would surely piss Temari off, until he saw blood dropping from in between them. Hey, what the hell is going on? Before he could do anything though, Gaara grabbed his hand and smashed his face in the wall. Kankuro cried in pain as Temari fell backwards. 3 knives embedded right in her chest. As she didn't understand, she collapsed on the ground as Naruto looked down towards her. Why? She asked. I apologize, but you were just a means to an end. As the knives pushed deeper in her chest, her eyes widened before they slowly shut. Kankuro screamed out in rage, only for Gaara to throw him towards Naruto. As Naruto spun and slammed his heel in his skull, crushing his head along the wall. As he was knocked out cold. It's time, said Naruto as Gaara nodded before his body broke down into that white goo. He just vanished. Meanwhile, at the hidden rain, as Naruto stood on top of the tower. Meanwhile, walking up towards the top. What do you think is the problem? Said Lulu. As Naruto had called him, saying that there was a problem. I do not know, but I hope he can fix it, said Konan. I know that you don't trust him, but you know he's trying his best, right? He's done so much, and not to mention you know where all the tail beasts are, so we can quickly find them. I still don't trust him, said Konan. They arrived towards the top, as they saw Tendo. Tendo was facing them. As Naruto's back was turned to all of them. Konan, he said. What is it? She said. From the first day you met me, you never trust me. Tendo gaze narrowed. Is this the problem you came here to discuss? No, that's not it. It's just... You were right, said Naruto. You shouldn't have trusted me. In fact, you should have let her kill me. You should have let her hunt me down and kill me that day. Because if she had done that, none of this would have happened. Lulu was confused. What are you talking about? Look, said Naruto. The moment he said that, they looked ahead. Their eyes widened to what they saw. A few seconds earlier, several people were outside the hidden rain. Outside of the rain that was pouring down. Those people had one thing in particular. All of them were Edo Tensei. Those Edotenses released the power that they had inside of them. Upon releasing that power, they transformed into massive beasts. Conan's eyes went wide. Tendo was about to move only for Naruto to tackle him. Naruto gripped his arms around Tendo rather tight, throwing him off of the edge as both of them started to fall, as Naruto hooked his legs around him so he could not move. As Tendo struggled to get free, Conan flared her wings, as she had to get pain-free so he could deflect those gigantic balls of death. From the 1 to the 8-tailed beasts, all of the tailed beasts stood there, but it was their eyes. Their eyes. All of their eyes had one thing in particular. They all possessed the Rinnegan. As Lulu couldn't understand, how was this possible? They gathered the tail beast bomb as Conan started to die. You fool! If you do that, you will die as well! As Naruto merely smiled, the tail beasts released the Biju bomb. The power was just too immense for any of the paths. Tendo couldn't get free in time, as the path they would leap out, trying to contain the blast, but it was just too much. A cataclysmic explosion went off. Ajisai and her team had just come back. They glanced up towards. Their body was just turning to dust as the explosion swallowed everything. Conan snapped her gaze up as Paper came up and pushed Lulu deep in the building. It carried her straight down. As she was slammed into the underground base, the explosion went off in a massive boom, swallowing the entire village. The 8-tailed beasts stood tall where they were, their Rinnegan eyes looking over the village, which was nothing but dust and debris. Thousands had just been erased in a second. Tendo's body was completely wiped away. The building had completely collapsed. Lucky enough, Nagato had raised his hands at the last moment, pumping every ounce of his chakra into an almighty push, and it kept him alive. But this body was the only one left, as his red hair. His red hair was out in the open. His pale, prickled skin was out in the world. His body was surrounded by a dome that quickly deceased, leaving him alone, protected, unharmed. But everything else was just dust. Things could be heard moving. As he turned to see Lulu pulling herself up. Paper had surrounded her form, and she had dropped right to the bottom of the building. So the explosion had went over her head, destroying but everything fell down on her. Her left leg was broken, as she couldn't believe what just happened. She glanced towards the real Nagato, as she couldn't understand. It was then that they saw it. A hand exploded out of the earth. As Naruto got to his feet, he only had one arm and one leg, as he was a mess. Half of his body was completely blown off. He had used the remaining half of Tendo to shield himself. "You, why would you do this?" Lulu yelled, breaking her composure as she saw the dead body of Conan, tears in her eyes all along. She was right. Nagato didn't have the strength to protect himself at the moment. He needed some time to cool down after pushing so much chakra out. That was the only reason why he was alive after all. Conan was right. He was never to be trusted. That is when a swirling vortex opened up. Obito was petrified in shock. "Ah, so you're finally here, Obito." Obito was surprised. He turned towards the deformed Naruto. As Naruto merely smiled. "How long do you think it would take for your stupid control over the fox to fool me? My eyes were able to break your illusion a long time ago. That is where I started to put things together. With a bit of help, it was easy to find out who you exactly are. Not to mention, you were there that night. You did the same thing to the fox once again. Don't you think you'd realize that it was you that controlled him the second time?" "What have you done?" Obito then saw the tail beasts. You were the one that took them. The one from Taki." "Yes, it was all me," said Naruto. Those eyes. Why do they have those eyes, Obito said. You will find out shortly. Obito appeared and gripped Naruto by the throat. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, but you just did me a favor. Not only did you bring me all the tail beasts, you also left the Rinnegan eyes over there, defenseless for me to take. So I don't think that you understand exactly what you did here. As Naruto started to laugh, as Obito gripped his throat tighter, as Naruto gurgled, Obito then dropped him down to the ground. This was a rather stupid move that you pulled. Lulu got to her feet as she creaked a paper blade, as she rushed forward to end his existence for what he did. But Obito couldn't allow that. He gripped the girl's wrists. Let go of me, she said. Let me kill him. No, I'm afraid I can't tell you to do that. He still has something that I need. The Nine Tails, huh? Said Naruto. As he chuckled a bit. I'm afraid that you'll never get what you want, Lulu. Because the extraction will kill me. Lulu's body broke to pieces as she got free from Obito's grip and soared through the air. As Naruto spread his arms, a giant paper blade ripped through his back and through his chest. Obito's eyes went wide as he moved and backhanded the girl away as she collapsed to the ground. As Lulu coughed up blood, the effect of her broken leg caused her immense pain. Her rage, her adrenaline had boost and allowed her to move like that. But now the pain was unbearable. As Naruto merely chuckled, Obito cursed as he lifted up Naruto's shirt. But to his shock, there was nothing there. As Naruto started to laugh, all of a sudden a seal spread across his chest. Obito moved back a reverse summoning seal. Poof! To Obito's horror and shock, 4 other Naruto appeared, looking completely fine. What the hell? They don't look like clones. Nagato was confused. What's going on, he said, as his power was returning back to him. Soon enough, he would crush all of them under his might, starting with Naruto for what he did. The leader is here. As they glanced up towards the heaven, someone then dropped from the sky like a bomb. His foot hitting the ground and everything exploding. The clone staying still though. The person, whoever it was, placed a hand on dying Naruto's chest. You did well, he said, as his hand pulled out something out of him, which flew into the other body. As the Naruto on the ground turned into a pale version of himself before just breaking away into dust. The person got up and cricked his neck. The 8 massive tail beasts rushing over as Obito prepared himself. As the person walked over towards Lulu as she looked up, she saw his face and his eyes that were not hidden by his hair. He kneeled down as she threw her fist toward his face, but he caught it and snapped her wrist as she cried out in pain. I've told you once before that life is meaningless, but you never understood me back then. I told you that none of this matters, that you all will fall one day. You thought of my actions as morbid, but you should have listened to Konan. She was right. I told you before that I care for nothing, and that feelings would not get in my way because, on the inside, I am already dead. As he gripped her throat, he picked her up with one hand as she fussed and bust. But no matter what she did, she couldn't feel her chakra because one of those strange knives had implanted in her stomach, as she coughed up blood. Screw you, she said. Final words. Snap! He broke her neck with one twist. He then turned his head. Obito was shocked to what he saw. As he looked into Naruto's eyes, a pair of Rinnegan looking back at him. The 4 copies came over and placed their hand on his back before they turned into dust, the power returning back to him. As Nagato realized, the Rinnegan abilities, the paths. The paths? Said Obito confused. He's right, but mine are a bit different. A mixture of Mokiton, white Zetsu cells, and a bit of stolen nature energy, so that he could go all over the world and not be near the wielder, but I could still control, and also give them free movement because of the Mokiton cells, and also take over when I want to. What? Obito said. The merging of Senju and Uchiha is able to weaken the Rinnegan, but with someone that possesses Senju blood and Uchiha blood, the time frame is a lot shorter. I've had these for the past few years now. It's been a long while since I truly exposed myself to the real world, relying only on my copies, you might say. But my consciousness was in theirs, and they were nothing but a husk. When I was not controlling them, they had free will, but their abilities, their loyalty was to me. Because of the connection we share because of the Mokiton, and they use corrupted nature energy that they steal from all around to keep themselves sustained. But I could take over their body with a simple snap, while the real me rested, controlling them from afar, doing as I please, placing the world into a perfect state where I could take it all for myself. This entire time, you have been a fake, Obito said. All of them. No. My training with you, the hell that you put me through that almost killed me, that was real. I wanted to have a drive, to make sure I know my purpose to rip you apart when time was ready. And now is the time, said Naruto. Because I've finally done it. I've gathered them all. And now, you two are the only ones standing in my path. You think I will let you do as you please, Obito said. You were just a mere child. A stupid, foolish child who was willing to give up on life. Until I showed you the way. Until I showed you a path that you could take. You're alive because of me. And now you wish to turn your back on me. Turn my back on you. I was never loyal to you in the first place, said Naruto. You should know that. I was loyal to no one. Nothing. Itachi was a disappointment. He held back against Sasuke. And he lost. Giving his life thinking that Sasuke would live afterwards. So I snapped his neck the moment he won that fight. I told you before. Nothing in this world is worth living. You might have thought that my ideals or my dreams changed, but they did not. After countless of times trying to end my own life, I realized something, even as I grew. Food, sex, money. Everything just felt so pointless to me. I just wanted it all over. But going down by myself didn't seem like any big grand show. Maybe I was just spoiled, that I wanted others to follow me as well. And then I thought about it. Why just a few? Why not just take the entire world down with me? That is why I'll erase it all. I'll erase every single thing. I'll just demolish it. I'll turn this world into a wasteland, erasing all life. Then I can finally rest. Where's the Nine Tails? Obito asks. The Nine Tails. At first, I needed information, so I let him stay around to talk. But then, after I got what I want, it was rather simple. As Naruto flashed Juhan sign, summoning jutsu, there was a poof. A massive poof. The massive nine-tailed beast emerged in its full form. As the thing roared, the power oozing out of all the tail beasts were just majestic. As Naruto started to laugh, Nagato raised his hand, almighty push, to slam into Naruto, but Naruto raised his hand as well, without saying anything. The two rays clashed against each other, forcing Obito to flee. As Naruto jumped on top of Ninetales' head, all the tail beasts started to gather chakra as they blast rapid successions all over the village. Nagato raised both of his hands, but it was for naught as the ground exploded. His body was blown out of the mechanical walker. Obito thrust forward to take his eyes before his body was destroyed until a gigantic black sword severed his entire head. No! Obito screamed in rage. As he watched the head be destroyed, Obito glanced up. What he saw petrified him. As Naruto stood in the head of the strange monstrosity, the thing was taller than all the tailed beasts. It had at least 100 arms behind it. 2 massive arms to its side that contained a long katana. Its body was made up of a thick black substance. It was Naruto's Sano. The armor on it was made from the Monkidon. It had on massive boots with one single step. The village shook. Now behold, the ultimate Susanoo. No one, not even Madara himself, has achieved power like this. This is a perfect blend between a Uchiha and a Senju. With these eyes of mine, I have become a deity, far surpassing that weak, pitiful Nagato. And now, as Naruto went through Hanslime, summoning Jutsu, the ground broke as Gedo statue came out of it. Obito cursed as the tailed beasts bat their tails down, causing a massive onslaught of energy to destroy the entire place, forcing him to go in a space and time dimension. You can run, but you can't hide, said Naruto. Now, for the rest of the world. With that he marched, with his army of tailed beasts behind him, as he marched, feeding off their chakra so he would not run out anytime soon. At Konoha, Danzo was not having a good time. Becoming Hokage was worse than he thought. Everything was on his shoulder and he was failing badly. The village was on the verge of a civil war. The clan heads didn't like how he was running things, and he had heard chatters around. People wanted to throw him, but that would not happen. He had a glass on his table with water as he saw the water start to tremble. What the hell? As he was confused, he looked through his window and what he saw petrified him to no end. As he could not understand, a massive beast was flying in the sky. As Naruto Sano had wings, the arms, the 100 arms behind it merged into wings, and it flew. It crashed down in the land of fire. But the place was still shaking as the massive 9-tailed beasts were running behind the thing to catch up. All of them under the state of the control of Naruto Rinnegan, and his wood style as well, so that they will have no free will of their own. They were completely restrained. Konoha! His voice boomed over the place as he got close. You people, push me to the limit that I am right now. You people started it all, so I thought it would be amazing for you all to witness the end of the world. Naruto summoned the Gedo statue, as all of the tail beasts were pulled inside of it. As the thing started to shake and roar, hundreds of leaf ninjas and root ninjas, thousands started to move out, but what could they do against that monstrosity? Naruto smiled as he saw techniques being hurled towards him to try and break him out of Sano. He swiped his blade. Screams of the dying could be heard as he slaughtered thousands in one swing. People started back to the village as Naruto stomped his feet, cracking the epicenter, killing hundreds. Danzo was petrified in shock. Such power. As Naruto stood there uncaring, until it finally happened. The beasts behind him started to emerge. It's here, said Naruto. Welcome, people of Konoha, to the end. He dislodged from Sano and jumped backwards as he landed on the 10 tails. The people were shocked as the thing started to gather a beam. Let us go out in a bang, shall we? Boom! The attack thrust forward. The people of Konoha were consumed in white light before the village was gone, as Naruto threw his head back and laughed. The beast started to charge up more bombs as he launched them all over the world. Conqueror, who had woken up as he was in a state of rage and anger, saw what the boom, everything was gone. Kumo, boom, Kiri, boom, the Stone, Land of Iron, Taki, every place was being wiped away as Naruto threw his head back and laughed in the chaos. The Jubi split the earth. The thing then started to roar, releasing such power As Naruto gripped the thing's head and starts, it's time. He sucked the thing inside of him. Naruto found himself in a dark hallway as he heard someone calling out his name. He didn't know who it was. Why couldn't he remember what happened? To his surprise, he saw that it was his mother. He smiled. "Oh, hey mom," he said. "Hey honey. Breakfast is ready," she said. As Naruto smiled and made his way over. As he sat at the table, he looked off in the distance. "Hey, what's wrong, son?" As he turned to see his father, Minato Namikaze. As Kushina looked towards him. "Nothing, it feels like I'm forgetting something." "Forgetting what, bro?" As Naruto turned to see his brother, Menma. "What's going on?" His sister came down, Mito. As she was holding her younger sister. Her name was Kiri. "It's nothing," said Naruto as he glanced around, before focusing back on his food, as he started to eat. After that, he departed to school. Something was off, but he couldn't remember. As he made his way towards the academy rather calmly, he went through class and everything. What was he doing? What was he forgetting? As nighttime came, he was supposed to go to bed and yet he couldn't sleep. Something was on his mind, he just couldn't remember what it was. It was then that he heard it. "Have you forgotten our goal? Have you forgotten what we set out to do? Are you really gonna let this thing force you in a calm, peaceful life that you never had? Wake up!" Naruto's eyes snapped open as he found himself suspended in mid-air, his body being ripped apart by the Jubi, trying to tear his mind to pieces. There was no love, there was no happiness. Hate. Hate was all that he needed as Naruto focused on his hate and pulled himself together. The beast was surprised as Naruto dominated it. Out in the real world, he gripped his head and screamed as a power fluctuation eviscerated everything around him. Once it was done, he had changed completely. 10 Megatama balls around his back, a staff in his hand, a white cloak. His skin a lot more pale. His hair was now white. He was now the Jubi, Jinchuriki. Such power. It was truly amazing. Naruto flew up in the sky, as he could see everything from where he was. He started to laugh. Even with this power, he still didn't feel anything. He was truly, utterly broken. So he would take it all down with him. With that, he started the end of the world. Hurricanes, tornadoes, lava shooting out of the ground. As Naruto started to destroy everything, Obito was in hiding, but he couldn't hide for too long. The world was coming to an end, and there was nothing that any of them could do about that. "Hide all you want, Obito," said Naruto as he screamed to the heavens. "I'm going to end it all. It doesn't matter where you are. Let's see you survive this." He thrust his hands out to the sky as he started to pull and pull and pull and pull. On the moon, a young Teneri felt something off before the place started to shake. The moon itself was ripped in half and yanked out of the atmosphere, pulling straight down as Naruto grit his teeth and he pulled it down with all of his might. It started to come down in flames. Naruto threw his head back and laughed. All that he ever wanted. Now he could finally rest as he closed his eyes. It made contact and trigger events that caused the annihilation of the humankind and the complete destruction of the entire world as they know it. In the end, a final explosion went off that ripped everything asunder as Naruto closed his eyes to relish in his death. That's all he ever wanted. And he took the world with him. A broken man can definitely dream. As he found himself in the empty, silent, void of space, a bright light appeared in front of him. What he saw surprised him. It was him, but he looked different. "Who are you?" "I am you as well. You have no purpose left. All you ever wanted was to die. Now you achieve what you wanted. Will you die now? Well, if you know that, leave me the hell alone, said Naruto. What if I told you there is someone else that is left to kill? What do you mean? A true god, beyond anything you've ever seen before. The one that has been playing you this entire time, the one that has made your life a living hell. As Naruto narrowed his eyes, his name is Anime King, and he did all of this. You have nothing to live for. Allow me to explain. Give me your hand. As made Naruto extend his hand, Naruto narrowed his eyes. After we're done, you can die. Just give me your hand and let me explain. There's a lot you don't know. How you've been used your entire life. How this story is not yours. Someone has been playing you, controlling your entire life. Give me your hand and I will explain everything. And then you can finally die. Afterwards, you leave me alone, right? Said Naruto. Yes. I will even kill you myself. I do possess the power to do so. So you can finally rest. Fine. Tell me, who is this Anime King? Mage Naruto took his hand and vanished with him. And yeah guys, that's it. Huh. The bastard escaped me once again. I wonder what Mage Naruto is up to. Well, it seems I'm gonna start to have to hunt him down. It's almost like he wants to end the Anime King channels. But if he does that, my content will stop. But I can't allow him. Damn it. I've allowed him to get too strong. I can't really find him anymore. But the next time he shows his face, I will have to enter my own story. I will have to write myself in as well. That is the only way to stop him. I will have to become a part of my story and fight him head on. But for now guys, I'm gonna be ending this series right here. Yes guys, a broken Naruto that just wanted to die. And he finally accomplished that, what he was taken away. But as you already know guys, new episodes are coming up soon, so sit back, relax and enjoy. But for now, I'm out of here, see you guys soon. Peace!